Yo everyone, it's Ian hitting you with it on Monday, and today I'm doing kind of an interesting video. I was going to have the basic parts of a turntable, because like I said in one of my vlogs, I was going to do a part 2 after I got the head shell and cartridge and all that, but I decided to wait because this is something I wanted to do for a while ever since I got a new microphone. Is looking back at my older first and second video, the sound quality and just me talking in general was really crappy, and I thought it'd be a cool idea to kind of redo those videos the way I kind of envisioned it. I always wanted to do voiceover gameplay, but the way that turned out, it just wasn't good. So I'm gonna redo my Hard Gaming Motherboards Worth It video. And then maybe in the future I'll do the history, or not history, but like my thoughts on Zelda. And I don't know, maybe if it goes good, then that's great. But let's begin. So I get this question asked all the time whenever people at school are building computers or thinking about building it. Because I'm, like, in my school at least, me and Bill, although he isn't at our school anymore because he graduated, I'm the only person that had built a gaming computer from scratch. I know my friend Sean got like a pre-built computer and then put a GTX 760 in there, but from actually getting every single part and building it on your own, I'm the only person that has done that, at least in my grade. So, one thing I usually tell people is, if you're going for a budget build, you don't need to get the most insane motherboard. You don't need to go buy the, I don't even know what it's called, the Asus X99 or Z170 board, because you don't need that. I hear so many people, and they're saying they're gonna get like an FX 6300, and with that they throw in like some insane motherboard that comes with it, but everything else is so like basic. Like they'll have a GTX 750 Ti, and then like they'll have 4 gigs of RAM and like a cheapo case or whatever, and yeah, it's great you're going for a budget build, and I had nothing against having a FX 6300 with 750 Ti, but if you got a decent motherboard, or one that isn't $100 million, and by that I mean like 150, you could use that money that you're saving and invest in a better graphics card, because the most important part of your computer is your graphics card, and then your CPU, because you don't want to get like a really OP CPU and then have a weak GPU, and the other way around, because you're going to have a bottleneck. And I know it's not really relevant to this, but you want to have your parts work the best they can. So that's why, like, if I had an i7 4790 opposed to a i7 2600, my GTX 960 would be working a little bit harder, or not really harder, but there'd be less of a bottleneck, which is great. But that aside, whenever I built my computer, I didn't necessarily need an insane motherboard, because I wasn't going to do overclocking, I wasn't going to do all this crazy stuff, and after I started doing more like demanding tasks and stuff on my computer, that's when I realized I'm going to need something a little beefier, and I'll get to that in a second. That leads into my answer, is what motherboard should I get? And for that I would say, get what you need, not what looks flashy or whatever. Get what will suit your needs. If you're not going to overclock, then you don't need to get an overclocking motherboard. If you're not going to have 4 sticks of RAM in your motherboard, then maybe get a cheaper motherboard that has 2 sticks. or if you don't need like all the debugging, like the two little digit things with the LEDs, or like power and reset buttons, if you don't need all that, then don't get that motherboard, just get something cheaper. Now, with my motherboard, my old one, there was something that this is kind of a weird story to explain, but on my old motherboard there wasn't heat sinks on what are called the VRMs, and I know I mentioned this before in the original video I did of this, but VRMs are voltage regulator modules, so they'll take the 12 volts that are coming from the rail from your power supply, and it'll step it down to maybe 1 to 2 volts depending on what your CPU needs. Because if you just sent 12 volts to your CPU, you'd fry it. And if it worked with 12 volts, it'd be highly inefficient, which is why you don't have that, and it'd be very hot. So these VRMs didn't have heat sinks, so when a computer part gets too hot, oh, voice crack, ew. When a power supply, or that voice crack threw my train of thought off. Just like any computer part, if the thing gets too hot, it thermal throttles. Meaning, if something runs at, like my i7 for example, if it runs at 3.4 gigahertz stock and it thermal throttles, it'll step it down to like 2.5 gigahertz for example. Not that that's a true statement as to where it'd go, but you get the point. So when I was playing a CPU heavy game, for example Grand Theft Auto 5, the frame rate would dip from 60 to like 30 or 20 or even like 15, and it would stay for about 30 seconds and then dip back up, then last about 5, not even 5 minutes, maybe like a minute, and it would do it again. So I found out that it was this whole VRM thing, so I got a completely new motherboard, hence the video where I actually got it. These had heatsinks on the VRM, and now the issue's gone. But I wanted to do some overclocking on my i7, so that's another reason why I got this board. I didn't just buy it because it was like all flashy and new, I got it for the things that I needed. So, to make a bunch of long stories short, just get what you need. Don't overspend on a board that has features that you can't even use or you're not even gonna use. Save the money and get a better CPU or a better graphics card, because that will run you so much better in the long run. So, sorry if my voice sounded a little, I don't know, crappy. I'm kind of getting over a fever, so that's that. But if you like this video, then be sure to hit subscribe and like this video, and check out our other videos. I recommend watching Bill's Let's Review It series, and other than that, I am out. Have a good one, guys.